Hello, thank you so much for joining me. Imagine you live in a society where some dude wakes up one morning and says, "Oh, it has been revealed to him by some deity or God that everyone should now eat once a day or do some very heinous, odious, vomit inducing act every week." I don't want to, maybe bestiality, something really, really, really awful. Now, if it's just one person, people say, okay, he's a lunatic, you know, put him in a mental asylum or something like that. But just imagine if he's able to convince five people, 10, 50, 2,000, 200,000, 2 million, and it becomes a powerful cult. And when you try to question them and say, hold on, this is not right, can we just have a talk about it? And they scream, oh, how dare you? You are blaspheming. You're going to go to hell. How dare you question our laws and our tenets? Our good book says this, our good book says that. And you're like, okay, can we just have a debate or a talk? No, how dare you? And then they get in the corridors of power and they pass laws and legislations and now mandate that everyone should follow their codes of conduct, which is maybe eating frogs or just something absolutely horrific. I'm just using this as an example, obviously. And anyone that tries to question or oppose, these people are ostracized, they are taken out, they lose their jobs. Just imagine that for a second. Society should be able to function on the ability to question and peer review and scrutinize any idea that is put forward. That is how we have balance. Some people like spicy food, some people like sugary food, some people like winter, summer. There's a huge spectrum. You can't just, no, there's no one size fits all. Or everyone has to do this or do things this way. No. Even in a nuclear family of maybe six people, you have different personalities and behaviors. So why do we get into a position or situation where we think anyone who opposes our worldview, why are we so myopic to think that I believe this because this person told me, because I read this book, and anyone who doesn't believe it needs to be taken out. Anyone who doesn't believe it needs to be ostracized and treated as a leper or as an outcast. Why? Now, what I'm advocating here is any idea should be able to be, there should be the freedom and allowance to scrutinize any idea or belief. We must be able to have a debate. Now, I'm not saying I don't advocate insulting or just for no reason trying to anger people of certain faiths. Now, there are some people that will want that to happen because they will say, "Oh, if your belief or faith can be insulted, it should be." I don't want to do that. I'm not of that mindset. I don't want to wake up one morning and start making fun of the Chinese or making fun of the South African accent just to antagonize or get them upset. I doesn't what's the aim of that? Doesn't make sense to me. But every mindset, every belief should be able to held to scrutiny. We should be able to question, why do you have this belief? Why do you think this is right? And not be threatened with violence, not be threatened with all sorts of um, outcast kind of behavior. No, it shouldn't be. Everyone, people should have the ability and the right to question any behavior. And that is how societies have the balance that they do. And then when you not have a society, when you don't have a society or a group of people where no one can question the status quo or no one can question the leader, what do you call that? A dictatorship. You say that society is living under tyrannical rule. And what happens to every tyrant, to every dictator? They eventually come off. They eventually fall off. One way, there is no dictator that reigns forever. Absolutely none. I've not seen any. Maybe I need to read up a bit more, but I have not seen any. Because people don't like you. You can't live forever as a dictator. It can't happen. Society functions best when people are able to sit down together on the round table. Yes, I respect what you believe, but I have the right to question why you want to. I have number one. I have the right to question your belief, not insulting you, but there should be the ability to question the belief. And number two, I have the right to resist you trying to impose your belief on society. Majority rule, you get into power. Just imagine the fictitious story I said earlier on in the beginning. That cult get into power and say everybody now has to eat centipedes every morning because their spirit god or the told them to. How will you feel? But this is exactly what I'm getting at. It doesn't matter your faith, your belief, your disposition, whatever it is. People should not, because of their ideology or theology, be able to force that upon you in any way, shape, or form. It should be open to debate. It should be able to scrutiny. And that's what I'm saying. Because these beliefs, they're all based on faith. And what is faith? Faith is believing what cannot be proved. Faith is subjective. Just as the person slept and woke up in my earlier story, and some spirit told him to do this. It's all religions are based on faith, which is subjective. Because if you look at 200 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, the religions that existed then, Artes, Osiris, Horus, were very different. Zoroastrianism, the worship of Zoroaster, very different. So the beliefs come and go. So in this world that we live in, every belief must be brought to the table of discussion. We should not have a situation where people are being threatened or you should not question our belief because that's tyrannical and every tyrant will fall. And if you claim moral superiority, the moral high ground, and say, no, my belief is really the real belief. Okay, just imagine if there's a different belief to yours and they bring something that is an anathema to your mindset and your disposition. And they say everyone now needs to do this. How would you feel? And when you try to question them, they jail you, they imprison you. You say, hold on, that's not right. So just bear that in mind when you scream and shout and get angry when people try to have a debate or talk about your belief and your faith and scrutinize it. And when you get angry and you start threatening them with hellfire, imagine if it was the other way around. Thank you so much for listening. Cheers.